Thank you so much for coming out. How's everyone doing tonight? Great. Good. Awesome, guys. And I hear some stories of a lot of people coming from different parts of the area. I think you guys came from Germantown, is that right? That's it. I mean, has anyone here come out further than Germantown? No one else? Give them a round of applause, guys, for putting up the traffic on 66, okay? You dealt with the traffic, and they were the earliest that was here. Good stuff, guys. Well, thank you so much. My name is Jan. I'm your host tonight. We do this once a month, and we go through a different topic related to real estate investing. And tonight happens to be how to estimate a renovation without going to the property, okay? For those who don't know me, I started real estate investing back in 2011, so about 12 years ago. I started off part-time. I used to have a job with the government. I worked as an IT project manager. I have an engineering degree. I did all the right things, went to school, got great grades, and went to school to learn the good stuff, right? But I thought the key to success was to be smart. So I got the hardest engineering degree, all right, which is aerospace engineering, and I didn't stop with a bachelor's. I continued on with a master's degree. So I thought the key to success was to be smart. But what would you rather say, and please be honest, I am smart or I is a millionaire? It sounds a lot better, right? So I learned how to do other business, especially in real estate. That got my stuff going. I did it part-time for about 2.5 years. In 2013, towards the end of that year, we went ahead and went full-time. I left my full-time job, have not looked back since. I let my security clearance void. I didn't care about that anymore. I just focused on real estate, and now this is what we're doing ever since then. 2 years after that, we started this networking group, so that way we can help and reach back to the community just like you guys. So hopefully we can do deals together because we do deals with, the way we make money is doing deals, yes, but we make more money by doing deals with a group that we grew organically as a community, okay? So I want to get to know you guys, okay? This is a microphone that's going to the camera. This will be posted on Facebook later for everyone who's going to be watching that later on. If you guys can really quick, within 10 seconds, share your name, all right? A little bit about what you're looking to accomplish here. If you're looking for a deal, if you're a fix and flipper, or if you're a buy and hold person, let us know what that is, so that way we know how to work with you afterwards, okay, when you go through networking. So let's start right here. Pass it on, delegate, right?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. My name is Vishal. I've been in Gainesville, Virginia area for about 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
I'm here to network and hopefully get some renovation work for my home.
Okay,
Yeah.
for your home. Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Good stuff. Here you go, Jose.
All right, hi. My name is Jose. I live in Manassas. I just came to this event because I want to learn about doing renovations. Interested in getting into the business, so hopefully I'll learn something here.
Okay, perfect. Pass it back, please.
How's it going, everybody? My name is John Malatesta. I've been coming to the group for several years now. I'm the owner of PMI of Fairfax. We're a residential property management company. But I'm an active investor myself, buy and hold. But I don't turn down a flip. So if you guys got anything in the works, definitely would like to talk.
All right, great.
Hey everyone, my name is Eric. This is my first exposure to anything real estate investing related, so I'm here to just learn and soak up as much as I can.
All right, great.
Good evening, folks. I'm Ben Burgoyne. This is my beautiful daughter Charlotte, right? And been in real estate for a few years. I'm a broker and buy and hold and flip. What's your name?
My name is Charlotte Burgoyne.
All right. Welcome, Charlotte.
Hey, good to meet you, everyone. My name is John Yu. I started real estate investment seriously about 2 months ago. I'm still, I'm looking for my first deal, looking forward wholesaling.
Okay, great.
Hello, my name is Vince Miller. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. And I've been with Jan for a long time, and I'm looking now to retire pretty soon, and I want to start doing something that is going to help pay for this 20-year-old I got hanging around.
Pass it forward, please.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bond. I am a real estate investor. I bought my first property 20 years ago. I do buy and hold. I've got a couple of deals I'm in the middle of negotiating, wholesale, flips, and making things happen this year.
So 20 years ago, so was that when you were 10 years old?
Yes, 12.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hey everyone, my name is Kurt Morton. I'm a real estate agent with Fairfax Realty. I specialize in working with investors. I've also done multiple of my own flips. I also have a small hard money lending business. So between all the various things I've done in real estate, I've been a part of well over 250 flips myself. So happy to share my experience and get to know everybody and maybe find a deal together.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's Lam. So I'm still working.
Okay.
Yeah, so looking to learn more about all the things. So like right now I live in Ashburn, so with my second house, but I think looking more into it and probably a deal in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, welcome.
Hi everyone, my name is Rob, and I've been in real estate for quite a few years, and used to run a portfolio of rental properties in Baltimore. Now I'm looking at different market, and so I try to learn from all of you, and hope to do something together.
All right. Wonderful. Pass it this way, please.
My name's Will. I've been in real estate for about a year. I quit my job in residential HVAC about a year ago to work for this small contracting business we have. Looking for a fix and flip. I also do some wholesaling, and I'm excited to learn about how to estimate a renovation.
All right. Great.
Yeah, my name is Jay. Nice to meet you guys. I'm a home improvement contractor, and I'm in Maryland, and I'm looking to expand my business in areas where I can be able to afford it a little more, as far as more as a fix and flips and buy and holds in the area. I also wholesale, and I'm excited to be able to get more in the minds of other contractors when it comes to me subbing out when I'm doing wholesale deals.
Okay. And you came to Northern Virginia to look for cheaper properties, right?
Yes.
Oh, Richmond. Okay. Okay.
My name is Luis Martinez. I'm actually an out-of-state investor. I invest heavily in Texas. I've got 3 flips going on right now, but I'm clearly doing something wrong, so I need to learn. Just here to market and make friends.
Awesome. And your flips are in Texas or here?
They're in Texas.
Okay.
I can't tell how this works.
No, just talking to it. You're good.
Okay. My name is Kathy Walsh, and I've been messing around with real estate investing for a long time. Particularly a long time ago, I was working with Jan quite a bit, and I worked with Kurt quite a bit. And right now, I have pretty much all my money tied up in one property, and at some point, I'm hoping that that gets sold, and then I'll be back in business.
Okay. Everything will sell at some point in time. Thank you very much. And that's my wife, Mary Rose. So thank you very much. You just turn it off, please. That'd be great. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started on the presentation. Everyone now knows each other. So the biggest value of our event, yes, the training's nice and everything, but the biggest value is the networking that we do afterwards. Okay. So we try to keep our presentation very short, but if you guys have questions, don't hesitate to raise your hand and ask, and just interrupt me, and we'll go from there. Okay. So I'm not one of those strict professors or anything like that. Okay. So how to estimate a renovation? First, why is this skill important? Okay. First of all, when I was starting off part-time, I had to be very smart with my time because I didn't have all day to do this business. So this skill is important because you can do an analysis of a property without looking at a house, without ever leaving your home. You can look on public records to see the size of the house and different things. You can make offers at homes without seeing it. You can do this part-time or your spare time. Generally, when I was doing this part-time, I was doing about 10 to 12 hours per week. And obviously, if I see a lot of properties, the last thing you want to do for those who are contractors, would you want to work with an investor who brings you to every property but never gives you any deals? Probably not, right? So you don't want to burn out your contractors. I only bring to my contractors where it is passed the sniff test, it is close to ratification, the numbers work in a preliminary level, then I have my contractor come out to verify my numbers and everything. And you want to focus on high value activity and not low value activity, okay? You want to make sure the pricing is fair as well because, sometimes there's good contractors and sometimes there's bad contractors, okay? I've seen the same project get estimates that go way beyond what, and it's so different. A simple kitchen renovation, I'll see renovation estimates that's at $30,000 for that size, and then I'll see a whole nother contractor quoted at $60,000. Why the huge difference? I have no idea, but that's the way people price. So you want to make sure that your numbers as an investor, whether it be buy and hold or fix and flip, are fair, and you know who to work with when it comes to good or bad people, okay? And this information can be used as a marketing tool too. So if you are wholesaling, would it be nice to give a renovation estimate so that way your potential end buyer can use that number to do their analysis and potentially buy that deal because your number is in the ballpark of what they're thinking, so that builds your credibility as well, right? So that's an important skill as well. So here are the required details to be able to estimate your renovation without leaving your house. First of all, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, total square footage, finished and unfinished. All right, and you'll dictate based on what resale values are if you're going to finish a basement or finish an unfinished space or not. You want to find out what the year built was and if it was ever updated, and of course the layout. Because houses back in the 1950s and 40s, would you agree that the layout is not open concept? You have to remove some walls and you have to do some renovation to make it to today's standards, okay? So all this information, by the way, is in public records. So just go to the county where your property is, whether it be a Fairfax County, Fairfax City, Foster City, Arlington County, or Prince William County. Go to the website and you get all this information there. And most of them can be found right there on MOS if you're an agent, or just on the public records of the county website, okay? And then you also have to decide what's your exit strategy. Is it gonna be a rental? Is it gonna be a resale? Or is it going to be a wholesale? That's one of those three, right? And once you decide that, you're going to do your appropriate analysis, all right? So when it comes to renovation, you got to decide if it's going to be a rental or resale. So usually when you do a wholesale deal, the end buyer could be a buy and hold investor or a fix and flip investor, all right? So you have to have the appropriate grades in renovation for that particular investor. So rental grade stuff, resale grade stuff when it comes to materials. Cabinets, if it's rental grade, the standard white cheap stuff, all right, not the expensive custom stuff, all right. The countertops could be corium or formica for rental grade stuff, and then for resale could be quartz, could be granite. I mean, granite was in a few years ago, but now it's quartz, okay? So that's the resale grade stuff. Appliances, get the cheap stuff, the white or black appliances. If it's resale, then definitely stainless steel. Flooring, if it's rental, tenants tear it up, right? So don't put expensive stuff there. Put standard carpet. If it's laminate, you put it laminate. Don't put hardwood. Don't put engineered wood. Just put laminate stuff. And then if you're reselling it, then use tiles and hardwood or engineered wood. Plumbing, fixture, standard versus brushed nickel, bronze, or black matte, excuse me. And then bathroom shower, standard mold, plastic, or custom tile design, okay? And I totally forgot this hotel's right next to the train track, so that's what you hear right now, okay? So don't mind that. So here's an example of a kitchen that is a rental grade kitchen. Okay, so you see a standard white. It's not very fancy. When you open it, it's not very fancy. There's no Lazy Susan. It's not granite. It's not stone cabinets. It's probably 32 inches and not going all the way to the ceiling. And it looks very cheap, just like any apartment or any rental house will look like, all right? And then for resale, see the difference, all right? Still white cabinets, but you see here there is like a multiple panel cabinet. And it looks more custom. Well, even though these are not custom, these are just white shakers, they look more custom compared to the other one. And these are quartz countertops, and depending on where your neighborhood is, you can choose to use the waterfall or just on the countertop as well. And then you have a tile backsplash and everything here. This house is actually in DC, and it does not have a dining room, which is why we designed the kitchen in a way to where the cabinets had some glass so they can feature their chinas and different things like that as well. Okay? Resale grade also, you can see here we built this custom thing, and there's LED lights above that. But again, this is resale grade. This is in Northwest DC. People there who buy the house, they expect these kind of things. And you want to do what the neighborhood expects. You don't want to overdo it. You want to do it what that neighborhood's looking for, what sells, and don't gamble, okay? All right, so then you have the appliances. You see the microwave is the one that's not on top, but it's the bottom. You got the hood, the gas stove, and the refrigerator in a triangle pattern with the sink, so that way it functions very well. All right. All right, and then for the bathrooms, this is a standard mold, great for a rental property. All you gotta do is buy one of these fiberglass pieces and put it in, and you're done. And you, of course, obviously put adhesive on it and caulk it, and then you're done. You don't have to worry about cutting tiles, don't worry about grouting, don't have to worry about heavy boxes of tiles. You buy this, you install it, then you're done. All right. Resale grade, similar bathroom, but you see here it's custom tile design. This is a brick pattern with coin flooring, or I'm sorry, coin shower pan. And then cabinets, same, standard white shaker, and then you got LED mirrors and everything. But this is what a resale bathroom should look like. Okay? So now, here's where the rubber meets the road. Knowing what your exit strategy is, how do you estimate a renovation based on public records, okay? Well, if you're only going to buy a property that's for rental purposes, and it's already in decent condition, and there's some things that are broken, what you want to do is probably fix what's broken. All right? So things like the faucet's leaking, or maybe the drain has a hole, or there's a hole in the bathtub, or the cabinet door isn't opening properly, or the hinges is off. So you fix what's broken. Generally, for estimating purposes, I'll put down $17 per square foot. So if the rental property is 1,000 square feet, our budget is $17,000. That's labor and materials, all right, including the GC fee. Simple rehab is when you completely remodel the home with everything in the same location. meaning you're not moving electrical, you're not moving plumbing, you're not moving mechanical, you're not moving anything. All you're doing is just putting everything back in the same location. The fridge was there, that's where the new fridge will go. The stove was there, that's where the new stove will go. The cabinets were there, that's where the new cabinets will go in the same exact layout, okay? In this case here, if it's rental grade, it's $26 per square foot. If it's resale grade, $37 per square foot. And these numbers are based on the DC metropolitan area labor and material rates from our blended experience, okay? Now, everyone may have a different blended experience, but this is just our experience. So if the house, again, is, let's say, 2,000 square feet, then it's a little over $70,000 for a $37 per square foot for resale. All right? Does that make sense? Now, the next rehab is what I call a minor rehab. This includes everything in a simple rehab, but allows for a few things like moving walls, doing minor plumbing work, and also relocating things to make it more of an open concept and more functional space compared to what it was back in the 50s and 40s. All right, numbers here between rental and resale grade are set here. And then major rehab, this includes everything in the minor rehab, but also allows for major floor plan changes, replacing almost everything with the electrical and plumbing. In DC, for example, most plumbing that was built back in the early 1900s are cast iron. They need to be changed out because they're rusted. The electrical panels, our fuse boxes, they need to do heavy up, so that way you can go ahead and install an HVAC and a microwave. All right, so you need to do a lot of these things. This is a major rehab, and these are the prices here based on our blended rates. So here's an example of a simple rehab. All right, this is a house that was in Woodbridge that we did. This is what it was. All right, and we decided to, it was tenants living here for a while, but we bought it to flip. So we bought it, and we did a simple rehab on it, and that's the same exact bathroom. You notice that the refrigerator is right here, same location. The stove is right here, same exact location, but we changed the hood and installed a microwave on top. And then everything else, the same exact location. The sink and dishwasher, you can't really see it, but there's a dishwasher there. And this one had glass tiles and a granite countertops. Okay, so that's a resale, simple rehab resale example. Okay, a minor rehab example, here's a kitchen that's in North Arlington. Not very exciting, right? And obviously this does not pass today's code. Would you agree? Okay, just having a stove sitting out there. And I don't know how this worked, but there's a dishwasher underneath the sink. I have no idea how that worked before. That must have been a really undeep sink. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. So somehow these people lived and was able to operate there. This house was built in 1939 or something like that. Okay. But obviously we had to tear all that out. And this old fan that was here for the exhaust for the cooking, that's very old style. So we had to tear it out. So what we had to do, and the kitchen was in this small space right here behind this window in the back. What we did was we took down the wall between this brick wall and this open space here and put the kitchen in there. We just relocated the kitchen. Okay, so we tore down the wall, and this is the space inside that green area right here. Okay, so this is the space inside the green area. We did the siding back there, and then we moved the kitchen over there. So now the sink and the dishwasher are not in the same location. All right, so we moved all the plumbing, all the electrical. We provided heating and air because there was no heating and air in that green space. And we removed that brick wall to have an entrance to that new kitchen. And there was a breakfast room on this side as well in front. Okay? So that's the example of a minor rehab. And then a major rehab, all right? This one is in Northeast DC in Deanwood. So take a look at this picture, guys. These are before pictures, okay? Just looking at these pictures here, what do you think? Do you guys think it's going to be a simple rehab or a major rehab? Just look at the pictures. You got stainless steel appliances, decent cabinets. Everything looks good, right? Yeah, there's walls on your side. There's a box up there. Obviously, you can remove the box and move 42-inch cabinets. But here's what we found when we did demolition. There was a random fireplace behind the wall that we didn't know about. You guys see that? But the reason why we put major rehab for this house was because the house was built in 1900. So we knew there was going to be stuff behind the walls that's been covered up for a while, okay? So we negotiated in that way. And then the fireplace didn't make good functional use there. It was never used. I mean, it was closed off for a while. Yeah, that is. That's the gas meter right there inside the house. It's inside the house, okay? So yes, exactly. And then take a look at the floor joists. Do these look healthy right now? Probably not, right? Because they're supposed to hold up the floor. So that's a lot of either termite or water damage over time and just didn't look too good. And on the other side, it's even worse. On the other side of this wall here, that's what these joists look like. That's not going to hold up the floor. And then underneath the joist had a cracked foundation. And there it is. See that? It's a major rehab. Would you guys freak out when you see that? I hope not, because this is all part of the plan, right? All part of the show. You can tell there's a crack in the foundation because we saw cracks in the wall in certain patterns. There's a foundation problem, okay? So our guys, I mean, obviously we didn't know where the foundation crack was, but it was somewhere over there. And you see this this 2x4 that's here, that's holding up temporary support. Here's what they did. All right, you see this house? Can you imagine walking to a house with absolutely nothing but a shell and a couple 2x4s holding the sides together? That's what they did, okay? They strapped it all together to make sure they didn't collapse in on itself, and then they rebuilt the whole house from inside out. All right, so all these wood right here, you see this wood, this is 2x4s from back in the early 1900s. They're like 30 feet tall. You can't buy those in Home Depot anymore. And that's really good wood. They're really 2x4s. They're not like 1.5 inch. You know what I'm talking about? Right now it's 2x4s, but it's really 1.5 inches. So these were really good wood, so we kept that, and we just built the framing all around it that did not require much load other than a couple of joists that we had to hold up here. Okay, so after the renovation was done, this is what the house looked like. Put new hardwood floors. We redesigned the whole floor plan to make it more functional. So the kitchen used to be over in this area. We pushed it to the back, so that way when you wash your dishes, you can see the backyard. All right. Whoop. Sorry. And then here's the kitchen here. You got the appliances and again a triangle pattern, so that way everything's very functional. But that's an example of a major rehab. Okay.
So you need a license. For county to permit all the structure.
Yes. Yes. Technically, yes.
What mean legally or technically?
Both. So you guys know what I mean by that, right? I will not disclose anything else out on camera, okay?
When you placed your bid for this home, though, you didn't know that all that work was going to be needed, right?
We knew it was going to be a major rehab, but we didn't have the idea of the actual scope. Okay. So when we did the estimate, it was based on a major rehab. We just didn't know where the crack was. We didn't know that the floor joists had to be all replaced, right? But we were able to budget that. But because we did all the floor plan change, we were able to add another bedroom and add another bathroom compared to what our original scope was. So we were able to sell a little bit higher. Okay. So we added some more value there to get back the money, from that experience, from that situation. Okay.
You ever do a rehab on a property that the value of the rehab would be worth more?
Yes.
What happens then?
What happens then? You have to make sure you negotiate it properly. Example, Baltimore. Some houses you buy for $10,000 will still not make sense. Would you guys agree? Because the renovation is what, 100, but then the resale is 110. You make no money, right?
Some that are locked up 3,000-4,000, and then you go there, the roof's not there.
Right. There's nothing there. You have to rebuild the whole thing, like the whole street.
You look at the age of the home as the primary indicator there, or what?
That's our preliminary indicator.
Okay.
But then when we go there, the preliminary indicator is the age of the house. We'll look at that before we actually visit the property, and we want to negotiate beforehand, before we go to the property. And if we're in the ballpark of where we should be, then we go to the property to verify if the major rehab number makes sense or not, right? Because we don't want, again, go to every property.
I see.
Yeah.
So for this house, how much you get for the sale and?
Great question. I knew someone was going to ask that.
Also your deal.
The deal?
Before you buy and after you sell, right?
Yes. So we bought this house for $150, I believe. We put in 140 or 50, I would say, right? That's about three. So we're in 300 grand plus holding costs, and we sold it for 380. 380. Yeah. So we made less than we just had to deal with that. There was more extensive damage, but we accounted as much as we could at the beginning. We still made money, but wasn't exciting. Oh, great question. So once we found the foundation problem and figured out what to do there, they had to jack up the foundation, then re-pour the footings and everything. We had to wait for that to cure. So I think the rehab took about 3.5 months or so. Yep.
So if you found that your rehab costs were just unreasonable, would you have just held it and rented it instead?
It depends on the situation. So is it worth it to hold it and refinance it out and pay that closing cost again? And am I going to cash flow or am I not going to cash flow? So you have to take a look at that. Yeah.
How much? What's the tax for the rehab project?
Tax?
When you do this deal, how much tax you are going to?
Well, the only tax we pay is the real estate tax and then the recordation and transfer tax when you buy the house and sell the house.
Is capital gain or your personal income tax?
Oh, personal income tax. So depends on how you structure your LLC. That's a whole other question for a CPA. But if you have
you do this under LLC.
Correct. Don't do it under your name. Do it under. Right. So you can do it as a sole member LLC. It'll be declared under your 1040, or you can set it up separate from your 1040, and that's its own business. And if the corporate tax is more reasonable compared to your personal tax bracket, then your CPA would advise you as such. Because remember corporate taxes were a few years ago. I'm not sure what it is now, but a few years ago it was only 18%. and that's lower than most tax brackets when you're in the 28% bracket, right? So it depends on where you are, okay? And then your CPA should be smart enough to advise you what to do. But do your first deal first, and then talk about that. No sense in talking about that until you make money, right? I mean, I remember I was really gung-ho about doing all that stuff because I was very analytical, but I said, you know what, I need to make some money first, then I'll figure it out. So my first year, I paid a lot of taxes, so I learned a lot, right? But then it's like, oh, this is what I should do now, but at least I made some money and got that out of the way, and that's the most important thing, is making money first and then figuring out how to save money later on.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Basically, the personal income, I'm already in a
High bracket, yeah.
bracket, then
So yeah, you definitely want to, well, then you got to buy some rentals so you can depreciate it. Gotta buy some rentals then. All right, any questions about simple, minor, major rehabs? Any of these pictures here?
Yeah,
Yes.
So on a job like this, granted you knew exactly what you were going into, what would your contractor want to make as a profit? Like if I was gonna wholesale it out,
Okay.
what should I be expecting? Back of my mind, what do you want? 50 grand, 60 grand?
Are you talking about as a wholesaler or a
Yeah,
contract?
if I was gonna-
Okay,
if I was-
so
I
it's
definitely, I would, it'd be a little too much for me.
so that's a great question. Generally, you dictate how much you think you should make, right? Because how well you negotiate. I mean, if you negotiate better, you should expect to have a higher fee. But end buyers will only buy it as fix and flip investors will only buy it at a very specific price, and you gotta know what that price is. Generally, in the ballpark, is 70% of ARV minus repair costs, but that's a very preliminary number. They will do a deeper dive analysis afterwards. So I would do that as an initial thing. So let's say this ARV was $100,000, and you take 70%, that's $70,000, and repair cost was, let's say, 25 grand. Then now I'm down $45,000. That's typically what an end buyer would buy it at. So you had to negotiate below 45 to get a wholesale fee, right?
So, no, I'm talking about the actual
GC, the
GC. What would you want to?
the GC or the developer, because they're both different things. Because for us, we're not GCs at this time. We hired a GC to do it.
Okay.
So for us, we like to make about $10,000 per month for hold costs. As an average. So if it's going to hold for 5 months, we want to make about $50,000. This one didn't pan out, but that's always our goal. Okay? Yes.
While you're working on these houses, are they being taxed? Are you paying property?
Yes. Yep. Property tax. That's holding costs. So utilities, HOA fees, real estate tax, and your mortgage.
So when you didn't know that you were going to have to do this additional work, you didn't have that calculated in there at the beginning, did you?
We did because we calculate as a major rehab.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Yes. Because they're based on the age of the house.
Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. So again, we did the rehab. The budget overran, but we sold it for higher because we added another bedroom, another bathroom as well. So we got some of that money back.
But to do a major rehab in 3.5 months is kind of fast.
It is. It is. Yeah.
So which year and month?
What year? What year was this?
Yeah.
This house was done in 2016. Yeah. So this is I always share this example because I have all the pictures. Sometimes you do deals and have all the pictures, but this one's a great pictures that illustrates the behind the walls and issues with the foundation and everything. You know.
Where is this?
Deanwood, Northeast DC. Yep. Oh, to add insult to injury, this was in a floodplain. So when we sold the house, we had to deal with the end buyer. I mean the homeowner who was complaining about his homeowner's insurance being so high because of the floodplain. Said, okay, we'll give you like a $2,000 credit or something for the first year, and I think that was it, right? Because Kurt was the one who listed that house, right? Square footage, I think, was roughly 1,700. It was under 2,000 square feet between both floors. There was no basement. There's a crawl space. Okay? If it was a basement, that foundation would be a bigger problem. Right? Would you guys agree? So it was a crawl space. Okay? Any other questions?
Resale grade or?
Resale grade, because we sold it. Yeah, so it's granite countertops in this case, and then stainless steel appliances, and 42-inch cabinets, so resale stuff, and hardwood floors. Okay? All right, any other questions? Charlotte, you have a question? No?
What kind of neighborhood is that in?
It was not the best neighborhoods. You know, it's northeast. Yeah, it's not the good side of northeast, it's the bad side of northeast. So that's why we got it at a very good low price, because there's high crime and yeah, funny thing is that it's a high crime area, but down the street is the police station. So, so go figure, right? So we figured it would be safe because right down the street from the police station, but it's still, statistically, it was a high crime area.
There's still a deal to be made in that kind of neighborhood.
Exactly, exactly. It was not as bad as Southeast, but it wasn't the best of places, you know. Okay? Any other questions? All right, good stuff. And I do have this one video here. It's about 7 minutes long. I want to share you guys and walk through an actual, because this is resale stuff, I want to walk through a rental grade house as well. So it's kind of weird for me to watch myself. So I'm going to push play. I'm going to walk back there, all right, and then see how things are going on, and then I'll come back, okay? All right, here it is. Another day, another property. Today, I'll be going to a property that's not owned by us, but owned by one of our buy and hold colleagues who've been investing in real estate for the past 10 years. They hired our construction crew to make the house rent ready again because their tenants of 8 years recently moved out and they want to rent it out again to new tenants, and obviously the house will need some work done to make it ready for new tenants again, okay? Please come join me as I drive to this property to show you exactly what we're doing in the scope of the project, okay? Ready to join me? Let's go. Newsflash, we have our own construction team. A construction team designed for investors by investors. I tell you guys, real estate investors have the toughest time getting their own contractors to do the right thing for the right price. Generally, the typical contractors always want to mark up the price so they can maximize their profit, never thinking that they work with someone regularly and get volume properties. They will make a lot more money by working with investors than just regular homeowners, okay? So our construction team's tagline is that our team is designed for real estate investors and not homeowners. So we're actually going to a property right now where one of my colleagues who've been investing in real estate for the last 10 years had a rental property where the tenants vacated recently and they need to fix it up again to make it rent ready for another tenant. We gave them a wonderful estimate for investors at the investor's discount, and we're actually going to go to the property right now to check on the status of that property to see how things are going. Most of the scope of work is just paint and carpet, but we're going to take a look to see how it looks and to show you the progress of the project itself, to show you exactly what an experienced investor would do to rent out the property again after a tenant's been living there for the past 8 years or so. Okay, so we're at this property right now where my colleague has owned it for the past 10 years. They had a tenant living there for about 8 years and moved out recently, and she wants to rent it out again. So we are doing a rental grade renovation with our construction team. So come on into the property. I am going to wear my mask for safety reasons, and we're going to take a look at what they're doing inside to make it rental ready again, okay? So come on in. Okay, so it looks like it's pretty safe here. I'm gonna take off my mask so that way you guys can hear me clearer. But I'm in the living room right now. As you can see, the floor is covered in the cloth here, so that way when they paint, it's not gonna hit the hardwood floors that's underneath it. The hardwood floor is actually still in great condition, so we're not gonna do anything to it whatsoever. We're gonna protect it, but the drywall definitely needed help. We're patching up all the holes that were in the wall. They've removed all of the plates from the outlets and also the switches, so that way they didn't paint over the switches and outlet plates, all right? And basically they patch up the holes, they sand it, and then they're gonna prime the walls, and then they're going to paint the walls with an agreeable gray color that's very neutral for the actual rental property, okay? So there's gentlemen here working. They'll be working in the background. They're enjoying their music while they're working. It's good to work and have fun at the same time, right? So I don't have a problem with that as long as they're doing the right things, which they are. And we've been having this crew work with us for many, many years, and we're really excited to have them stay on our team here. So with regards to the ceiling here, because it is a rental property, we're not installing any recessed lights for the owner. We're just gonna repaint it with the ceiling white paint to make it look nice again, okay? And note, guys, that the wall is gonna be a flat paint, whereas when they paint the baseboards and any kind of wood trims, it's gonna be a semi-gloss satin white color, okay? So remember, drywall will always use regular flat paint, and then trims, baseboards, chair rails, and anything like that will be semi-gloss, so that way it pops out and looks shiny. So we're in the kitchen right now, and the kitchen cabinets are in great condition, which is why we wrapped them in plastic to protect them from the painting. The countertop looks in good condition as well, along with the appliances. This needs a couple of pieces of hardware and a thorough cleaning once everything's done, and we're good to go to rent it out to another tenant. So we've already seen the main level, so we're gonna go upstairs right now to take a look at the bedrooms and also the bathroom, so please come join me, okay? Okay, so we're upstairs, we're now in the master bedroom, okay? Now you notice here, the carpet is not covered in the cloth protecting it. Now, the reason why we're not covering the carpet and protecting it is because we're replacing it anyways. So there's no point in protecting something that we're gonna haul away and throw away. So they've already painted the ceilings here, they've patched up the walls, okay? And once they finish painting here, then they're gonna go downstairs and start painting the main level and also the basement. But at the same time, our carpet crew is gonna come up here to haul away the carpet and start putting down new padding and new carpet while they're painting downstairs. This is called good management. See, what we wanna do is plan out how to work things in different crews in parallel instead of in series. What I mean by that is being able to do more than one thing at the same time. And this requires careful project management and careful planning, so that way a project that should take 2 weeks should take only 2 weeks and not overrun on the actual budget and also the time it takes to finish the project. So that's going to be very important in our construction company, is the ability to manage it properly so that way it finishes quickly. Okay, so we're in the master bathroom now, and most of the stuff in here are in great condition. So that's why there's cloth here covering the floor, there's plastic covering the sink and also parts of the toilet and also the tub. All we're doing here right now is we're painting, and once the paint is done, we're gonna finish caulking all around the bathtub, re-caulking the toilet, and also changing the guts of the toilet because it was making some noises and leaking water inside. But the toilet itself is good, doesn't cost that much to replace the stuff, okay? So this is just what you call being smart as an investor and a contractor. Most contractors will recommend you change the entire toilet so they can charge you extra. But me as an investor, I don't want to spend money where I don't have to, right? We gotta be smart with our money, smart with our investments. So changing out the guts is much cheaper, obviously, than changing out the entire toilet. Now, the toilet itself is only $100, but to remove it and install a new one in and then hauling away the old one is where the major costs are. Whereas if you just change the guts of the hardware inside the toilet, doesn't take much debris, and we just throw it out in the garbage can and we're good to go, okay? So there's not much construction material being thrown away there, which saves us a lot of money as an investor. So as an experienced investor myself, I want to pass on these savings to other investors so that way they can have more volume and be more successful as a fix and flipper and also a buy and hold investor. Okay, so we're done with the top level now. We're gonna go downstairs to the basement to see what that looks like, okay? So come join me. Okay, so we're in the basement right now, and I noticed here that there's a couple of dome lights and also some drop tiles as well. Now, as a rental property, we don't really need to do much. Regular contractors, they're probably going to suggest you change the drywall, but that's probably more appropriate if you're going to sell the property. But as a rental property, not a big deal. Best thing to do is probably paint it to make it look fresh again, and then we're good to go, okay? If you're going to sell the property, you definitely want to install recessed lights, but if you're going to rent it out, one dome light will suffice. No need to spend any more money than that when you're renting it out. Okay, so we're in the utility room right now in the basement here, and there's not much to do here because it's going to be a rental property. All we got to do is clean it up, okay? But let's talk about some of the things that you definitely want to take notice to. First of all, the hot water heater looks pretty new, probably about 5, maybe 6 years old, so it's in great condition. As long as it's working, we'll just leave it just like that. We'll just clean up the top to make it look suitable again. The air handler for the HVAC looks like a heat pump here with no natural gas. This looks fairly new as well, probably in the last 5 years or so. So one of the things that we always do for our investors is to make sure the unit is protected, okay? When we paint upstairs and sand the drywall, a lot of dust is going to be going into the ventilation system and then going into the filter here. We want to make sure that once the construction is done and everything's sanded, we're going to change out the air filter to make sure that the unit is protected and that new air that comes in without the dust can last much longer, because now the air filter is not all used up from all the drywall dust that we've had from the construction, okay? So Every time we finish construction, we definitely want to clean the HVAC unit, the air handler, change out the filter, so that way all the construction debris doesn't clog up the system inside, causing a lower lifetime of the actual unit. All right, guys, well, there you have it. There's a construction project for a rental property, okay? Not much to it, especially when there's a lot of things that are still working and not major construction needed. If there were major construction needed, they will let you know about it. But generally, paint and carpet is the scope of this project, and anything that's not working is broken, okay? So there are a couple of doorknobs that were not there on the actual handles of the cabinet doors. That will be changed out. The refrigerator actually was missing a handle. That will be changed out as well. There was a cabinet upstairs in the bathroom that had cracks. We're going to vinyl that and repaint it to make it look fresh again. So a lot of small things that we would do to make the rental property ready again for a brand new tenant. So the scope of this project is no more than $9,000, all right? And it's roughly a 2,000 square foot townhouse. And so there's a lot of paint that needs to be done in the ceilings and the walls to get it all done. But for that price, guys, I tell you, our construction company is designed by investors for investors, and we don't overcharge because we make sure that the bottom line of the investor is satisfactory, so that way they can make a decent margin at the end of the day. All right, what do you guys think? $9,000, is that a good deal? Not a bad deal at all. 2,000 square feet, that's way below our estimates, right? So do you think that investor was happy? Yes. And when that tenant leaves again, guess who they going to call for renovation, right? Question?
I just have a quick question though. You didn't mention anything about adjusting for code changes. Supposedly the outlets.
Code changes?
Yeah, for a rental property, I'm assuming by what you just showed that if you don't have to change, let's say they have fuse box.
Yep.
Would you change that fuse box?
Only if it's broken.
Okay, because it's a rental property.
It's a rental property, exactly.
And that's okay.
That's okay. Remember, if it's there already with a orange sticker on the electrical panel, it's already passed code, it's grandfathered in. So there's houses that were built way back when. Exactly. If it's grandfathered in, it's grandfathered in. It's only when you're doing something new to it, then you need to get a new permit, a new approval, and everything. Okay? HVAC, right? Yep. All right, so did I do a good job on the HVAC side?
You did, but you called the water heater a hot water heater.
Oh, yeah, sure. I always have that problem. I still say HW instead of water heater, you know. It should be a WH and not HW, right? I'm so used to it because I'm thinking of the kids' homework. It's HW, right? You're absolutely right. Thank you for pointing it out. I will fix that video. I'm going to mute it out, okay? Good stuff. Anyone else have any questions?
So if you're a wholesaler, you're working backwards to figure out like how much the renovation cost going to be. Like, but you don't know at the end it's going to be whether it's going to be rehabber or whether it's going to be fix and flip.
Right. Buy and hold.
Buy and hold, right?
Right.
So how do you?
So when you wholesale,
figure out, like,
that's a great question. When you wholesale, you can tell them that this is for a resale renovation. You know, but and usually people don't rent out single-family homes, but if it's a townhouse or something like that, then I may put a rental grade renovation number in there as well. All right. So if it's a single-family home, I generally don't do that because most likely it's going to be a fix and sell. Yep. Okay. Great questions. Any other questions?
I have maybe it's a dumb question, but
Never a dumb question.
what is wholesale? I mean,
Wholesale. Great question.
How does that differ from just flip?
So wholesaling means you never own the house. You own the contract. So let's say you have a house for sale, and I want to buy for $100,000, and you agree to it, and you're the seller. We sign a contract. Now I'm obligated to buy the house. But in turn, I can take the contract and sell it for a fee called wholesaling. And so I sell it to, let's say, Will, and Will wants to buy for $120,000. The difference between 120 and 100 is $200,000. That's my fee. Now he gets that contract. He will buy the property, whereas you, the seller, don't really care. You're getting your $100,000 and you're happy. Okay?
How would you know that he wants to buy that house?
Because I know him. That's why. And when we buy that, when we do put things on a contract, we want to wholesale it. We have a large network of end buyers who are willing to buy the house. So we negotiated as such. Okay. So for us, in the past 12 years, we've built about 10 to 12,000 of the people of database for end buyers all across the East Coast.
So the difference between that and a flip is there's no holding fee in a
Yes,
wholesale.
because you never own the house.
Right.
So you don't pay the closing costs.
You're
you
getting your fee for being able to connect two people.
That's it.
Okay.
Pretty cool, right?
But what about the renovation? You don't deal with that?
You don't deal with that either. You're nothing. Once you're done, you're done.
Is that a risk that you need to provide funding proof as a wholesaler?
What's the question again? I'm sorry.
I mean, when I'm an owner assigned to a contract wholesaler, do I need to see some funding proof that this
So
guy
the
really
homeowner
have
won't even,
all
the homeowner won't even know that, because you will provide proof of funds because you are a credible company as well, right? So if you're a fix and flipper or you're a wholesaler, you have an end buyer network, you're going to have your contract designed in a way to where you're buying the house and you're negotiating as if you're buying the house. But if you're wholesaling it, then you have the option.
You need to tell the owner you are wholesaling.
Only if you're a licensed agent. Yeah. If you're a licensed agent, watch, I take that back. If you're a licensed agent, you have to disclose you're a licensed agent. But you don't have to tell them that you're assigning it. It's written in the contract.
So what if you cannot find another buyer?
You make sure you have a contingency in there to walk away with no penalty. Okay, there's always an answer. Josh, we've been doing this for a while. But there's no point in ratifying the contract unless you know you can sell it. Make sense? Why would you waste their time, waste your time? You know you can't sell it, right? So.
It's called wholesale because you're doing this on a high volume. You just
Right.
all day. You're just signing contracts with
Yes.
contingencies.
And all you need, if you're part-time, just get one or two, or one every other month, and you're good. Right? That should replace any six-figure income. Okay? In this area, anyways. I'm not sure about Richmond, but probably Richmond also, because the fees are different in different areas. The spreads, you know. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, we have a whole other class, but that was March's class. All right. Any other questions? These are great questions, by the way. I love it. All right. All right, guys. Questions. Okay, so we're done with the questions, right? Totally forgot about that slide, okay? But I want to let you guys know that as part of our network, we always like to work with our team. And for those who are brand new to investing and things like that, we actually have an education company as well that we're doing a 5-day challenge next week between us and myself and market leader Mike Middleton, who heads up our location in Fairfax. We will teach things for just $99, 5 days. There's 5 different, each day there's going to be a different thing that we're going to go through at 12 o'clock at noon, and then at 7 o'clock at night, about 45 minutes each. We'll go through each topic on how to find a deal, how to negotiate the deal, how to determine ARV, and how to get everything wrapped up in just 5 days. Now, we used to have live trainings just like this for a whole weekend, but post-COVID, people love Zoom. I don't know why, okay? So they're just so used to virtual stuff now. So we modernized our training products to have it all virtual. So there's no need to leave your house. The only difference is that when you join our classes virtually, you can't get any food. That's the only downside, all right? But that's the price you pay, right? Okay. But for 5 days, you learn all that stuff. To register, just take a picture of this link here. You can register. Deadline to register is this Sunday to get that 5-day challenge. It's $99. But we teach stuff that most classes will charge $10,000, $20,000 for. I'm not sure if you guys have been to other training companies before, but they'll lure you in for free. And they'll say, hey, sign up now, it's $199 or whatever. And then once you go there, you do the 3-day class, and then the last day, they spend half the day selling you on a $10,000 package or $50,000 package. And by the way,
find the real secret. Sign up for my $10,000.
exactly. And that's their main revenue stream, is charging those training fees. For us, the training fees really is just to keep our lights on because we have operational costs and overhead. But the real revenue comes from doing deals with you guys. So if we don't do deals with you, we don't win. So we have a strict incentive to make sure that you succeed as well.
What's the time for that?
Every day, Monday through Friday at noon, and then in the evenings at 7 p.m. every day except for Friday. So there's 9 total sessions. Okay? And everything's online, and then we record everything as well, so that way we post it on a private Facebook group, and you guys can review and reference it down the road. You will learn our templates for calling people. You'll get access to the tools that we personally use. You'll get access to leads that you can call, cold leads that are absentee, vacant, pre-foreclosure, or probate. You'll get access to all those things for that fee because we want you guys to succeed. We don't win until you guys get a deal, right? And then at the end of the day, once the deal is ratified, we'll help give you guys a second opinion on those deals. And John, if you don't mind, John took our 5-day challenge when? March, right?
March.
So
Maybe March.
Towards March, okay?
Late March.
Late March. Is there anything you'd like to share about your experience there?
Absolutely. So I was completely newbie coming in and had no idea about wholesaling and fix and flip and all those things. I'm still trying to figure out. But it was totally worth it. $99, best money spent, especially if you're new to real estate.
Absolutely, absolutely. And every time he texts us, we respond. Every time he emails us, we respond. And I think you had, from that experience, you had like a good 3 or 4 leads that you're still working on to this day.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
You can go to YouTube and find all this information, but I think the real value is just leaning on Jan and
Right. Being part of a team. So it's easier, by the way, to make an offer and say, I work with a group who has done hundreds of deals. Instead of saying, this is my first deal. You want to work with me? You know, so that's the credibility you guys can lean on, and that is the biggest value that you can do. Okay? All right, next month, on Wednesday, the 14th, the second Wednesday every month, our topic is going to be funding your deal with no personal money. We have a guest speaker, Jared from Washington Capital Partners, who's going to be our guest speaker next month. So definitely RSVP on meetup.com, so that way you guys can reserve your spot and get a chance to meet him. So now, guys, our presentation is done. Now is where we get a chance to turn the music back on, network, meet with one another, enjoy the rest of the food, and hopefully we get some deals done together here as a group, all right? Thank you very much. Thank you.